Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right. Well, welcome everybody who was able to join us today. And thank you to everyone who watches later. We appreciate you too. Each year, Central Michigan PRSA hosts an annual meeting to vote on, or in this case, we're introducing the next year's board slate and to provide updates to the membership and a chance for our members to connect. Today, you'll be hearing from me, current CMPRSA President, Caitlin Finnerty, current Michigan State University PRSA President, and Lisa Biering, 2023 President. But you'll also be hearing from PRSA National. And today we have Dr. Felicia Blow, APR, current chair, and Michelle Egan, APR and PRSA fellow, who is our incoming president or chair of PRSA National. And so first, we're going to kick it over to Felicia.
Good morning. No, it's morning for you, afternoon for me, really early morning for Egan in Alaska. But I remember a year ago when we had this conversation, and I cannot believe a year has elapsed. I have a video that I'm going to try to share now that I think will do a far better job than me babbling on about how amazing this year has been and how incredible you all are as honestly the leaders of PRSA, the reason that we exist. So here goes. Here's my attempt at any rate. So, all right. Can y'all see this? It's a video.
Yep.
A talking head or something. And let me go up here to see where the audio stuff is. Oh, good Lord. You think you have a challenge. Share sound, it worked. Here we go.
As I approach the end of my tenure as chair, I look back on the many accomplishments and innovations that have shaped my term, and I'm humbled by just how much we together have achieved. Within PRSA and throughout my career, I've served in a number of leadership roles. And while each has offered its own rewards, I can say that the collaboration and support I've received this year from all of you has made this experience one of the best of my life. And just a few of the highlights include
the year-long celebration of PRSA's 75th anniversary, the publication of 75 years of impact and influence, raising more than $300,000 in support of PRSA and its programs, standing up several ad hoc task forces which will provide context and insight for years to come, meeting so many of our members as I've traveled throughout the country, and can I say ICON 2022 in Texas, PRSA's first in-person international conference in 3 years. Getting to know some of our wonderful PRSSA students who truly represent the future of this organization. The global exchange with PRCAI in India and Delta Airlines, very amazing engagement.
I adore this organization, and I know that I'm a better professional and leader as a result of the experiences I've had and the relationships I've formed and continue to form. I thank the board for your support. I thank the PRSA staff in New York and all of my many friends and colleagues. I'm so looking forward to a great 2023 with Michelle Egan and Joseph Abreu at the helm. I wish you a safe, healthy, and glorious holiday season. Be blessed.
Told you that'd be better than me droning on. Honestly, it is not overstatement to say how blessed and privileged I feel to have been elected as your chair. I will continue to remain engaged and do my very best to uplift this fabulous organization. And with that, I will kick it over to Michelle Egan, a dear friend who I've known for a bunch of years. Egan?
All right. Thank you, Felicia. Great video. For sure. I do not have a video. Maybe next year you can invite me back and I'll work on having a video. Plenty of time to get that together. Thanks so much, Felicia. It has been a really incredible year, and your leadership has made it so. And if you have paid any attention to what we've been doing with the 75th anniversary and all the wonderful celebrations with that, and I have the 75th anniversary book. If you haven't seen that, Felicia, do you have one you can hold up? I left mine out in the office so the rest of the staff could go through it. But it's a really incredible piece of work. And there we go. Yeah. So if you can look at Felicia, it's a really terrific book honoring 75 years of PRSA, but also 75 plus really incredible moments in history where PR made a difference. And so a lot of untold stories about some incredible PR minds and leaders that, as you know, because you do this too, we work behind the scenes, right? And so Felicia's and her crew have taken people from behind the scenes and put them out front in this book. Is there any Felicia, I'm gonna actually riff on this one a little bit because I remember your presentation about this book at Icon, and I'm going to ask you one of the questions that was asked there. What was one of the most inspiring features in the book?
Well, it's so many, I can't pick one, but I will tell you the thing that I learned, which when you get this book, because I'm being very, I'm sharing that energy, get this book. You'll find some uncovered secrets. So Inez Kaiser is the first African-American female to start a PR firm. I know many of you have heard the I Have a Dream speech by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. A PR person was behind development of that speech. Third thing is, this is way back before any of y'all were even thought of, including me and Egan. Harriet Tubman did one of the first not Tubman. Let me find her face, because I keep doing that Tubman. Here she is.
But Harriet Tubman did a good job too.
She did good. What's her name? Oh, I gotta oh shoot. I'm just gonna do it. Y'all have to see my dirty office. I'm so sorry. Y'all have to see my dirty office.
If you leave it right there, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Her name is Ida B. Wells.
Yes.
That name sound familiar to anybody?
Yes.
She started one of the first PR campaigns, and it was an anti-lynching campaign. This book is chock full of stuff that will blow your minds. Thanks, Egan.
Yeah, you bet. So you'll definitely, I encourage you to check that out. It also makes a great gift. I'm planning to purchase some for my local chapter so that they can give them away throughout the year as awards or whatever. So you might consider that as well. I'm going to share a couple of slides. Let's see. Uh-oh. Choose what window. Oh boy. I usually work in teams. All right. Well, I'll just speak to you.
I think, Michelle, is it telling you not? If you click the share screen button at the bottom, a pop-up comes up, and then there's a blue button in the bottom right corner, just where you have to click.
It doesn't let me click it, so that's okay. It's no worries. No worries. I can send you a couple things afterwards. It's not anything remarkable, but congratulations on your annual meeting and on such a fantastic couple of years. We know that it's been tough out there, and we know that chapters need lots and lots of support. We're really, really impressed with the way that our chapters have made it through a couple plus years of pandemic, and then coming back into navigating what it's like to be in person, or if people are going to be in person. And we see a lot of chapters like yours kind of learning from the lessons of the pandemic and then taking their virtual options and really making those, really expanding on those, just like we're doing today, and not relying solely on the face-to-face, which we all love. If any of you were able to go to ICON, or if you have been to other in-person events of any kind, you can appreciate the energy that comes with that. And so we're really hopeful for you that in the future of your chapter, you get lots and lots of opportunities for that in person, because community is really what PRSA is all about. I wanted to acknowledge today, because it's no secret that I live in Anchorage, Alaska. I did have a slide showing your weather, which I understand it's like 22 degrees there, which would be very typical for December in Anchorage. But in fact, it's -1 with a wind chill of -11. So, so I feel you on your cold days. But congratulations and happy solstice, because today is the shortest day of the year. And here in Anchorage, of course, in Alaska, what we do is we celebrate the heck out of the 21st of December, because it means that starting tomorrow, we begin gaining minutes back in our daylight. And so, so if we're really aware that people have a lot of, we're paying more attention to mental health issues for our employees, but also in PRSA around, volunteers and some of the struggles that we're having. So there's hope. There's hope in the daylight that's to come. I also just wanted to let you know that we, at ICON, we seated the 2023 board. And as you're probably aware, Monica, a member of your chapter, is joining the board. And so we're really excited to have her and her expertise on the 2023 board of directors. And of course, we'll have Felicia continuing to lead and support our efforts as a board. Our efforts this year are really going to be focused on a new strategic plan for PRSA. And again, I'm not going to share a slide, but I want to tell you one of the things that we have honed in on is a North Star for PRSA. And it won't be a surprise to you, but it's nice to have the words. So I'll share that with you. Our North Star, our guiding North Star for PRSA, is a community of ethical communications professionals building for tomorrow today. And so everything that we do is going to be focused on that. How do we strengthen community, which is exactly the value that chapters bring, right? How do we really reinforce for the entire communications ecosphere, right, beyond just PRSA, the ethics, how ethics is practiced in communications. One of the things that brought me to the PRSA board and the interest in serving at the national level was when in 2017, when PRSA made a strong statement about alternative facts. There are not alternative facts, there are only facts. I was so inspired, because this is what PRSA means to me. It's a community, but it's also a community that stands up for our democracy and the way that we know communications needs to be practiced. And we're faced with so many different challenges. PRSA just recently made a strong statement regarding the Twitter decision to not allow certain journalists on their platform. And so we're really proud, Felicia, for taking that bold stand. It's not easy for us to do, but I am concerned, and I have been concerned that lots of folks will play fast and loose with the rules and the ethics, and our organization is here to stand up for what is right. And again, we're really using our community to build for tomorrow. So I want to just say thank you, and I'm looking forward to supporting your chapter and your efforts The entire board will be focused on that and giving you more tools to make you help you have a successful year. So thank you. I'm going to turn it to Ally.
Thank you, Felicia and Michelle, for joining us. Especially, I know, Felicia, I think you're on our time, so it's about lunchtime. But Michelle, I know it's pretty early in the morning for you.
Oh, it's 8 o'clock. It's good. It's good.
Y'all have a happy holidays. And
yes,
thank you so much for the invitation. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Felicia. Michelle. So first, looking back on 2022, I wanted to thank this year's chapter leadership, Lisa, Jen, Jess, Monica, and Justin. I've so appreciated your service and thoughtfulness and your support throughout the year. But I also want to recognize our director at larges for their commitment to the board this year. Many of them, as you'll see in a moment, have served as committee chairs or as part of committees. So thank you for going above and beyond the call of duty on that. And then finally, I want to acknowledge our committee chairs. Each has played a critical role on our board this year. So thank you for all of your hard work. And some of you will be sticking around next year. So thank you for continuing that great work. So before I turn it over to Caitlin to provide an update on the exciting things happening at Michigan State, I want to take a moment to look back on the year. 2022 started off by surveying our members, and this survey marked the first time since before the pandemic that we got a pulse on what our members want to get out of their membership. This step undoubtedly helped us plan not only just for the year, but for the chapter's future, as a lot of sentiment and everything changed after the pandemic. So it was good to get a pulse. And then after a few virtual events in the first quarter, our annual PACE Awards program marked our first event back in person in over 2 years. It was a fun and exciting night to look back on all that our region had accomplished in communications in 2021, and all the while raising money for our chapter. We went on to host a couple after-work networking events and hosted lunchtime webinars to make it easy for members to attend from across the region and connect on a number of topics and subjects. And then earlier this fall, we established the Kelly Rossman McKinney Memorial Scholarship in recognition of a very accomplished individual who meant a lot to the PR profession, our chapter, and to the Lansing community. Recipients of this scholarship will be selected in the spring of each year and recognized at the PACE Awards program. If you are interested in contributing to the scholarship fund, please reach out to Jessica Tremontana. I've left her email on the slide there. And then finally, most recently, the board voted to establish a strategic plan for 2023 through 2025. You'll note that PRSA National mentioned their strategic plan. We as a chapter established a parallel path strategic plan for 2023 through 2025, which will no doubt set us up for success well into the future. I don't want to scoop Lisa on the full details, as she's going to go over it the first year that we're implementing the strategic plan will be under her. So she'll present that on her look ahead. I also want to recognize the ad hoc committee who helped take the strategic plan on. It's not something that comes up every year. So thank you to Lisa, Jen, Nikki, and Hannah for all of your guidance and support there. And with that, I will turn it over to Caitlin for an update on MSU PRSA.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me at the year in review at the annual meeting. I just wanted to go over a little bit about 2022 for the Student Society chapter at MSU, and we'll mostly be focusing on the last couple of months because that's when the transition started to the new school year. So I'm Caitlin. If we haven't met before, I'm a senior graduating in May. I have a public relations major and a major in James Madison. I am the president for PRSA this year, as well as the George Brown Memorial Scholarship winner, and hoping to go into PR full-time after I graduate. So a couple things that happened this semester at Michigan State PRSA. We did the University Fall Welcome. So we were at multiple Fall Welcome events, including the big one known as Participation, where every single one of the 1,000 clubs on campus sets up in the big field and goes to talk to students. And it was super successful, as well as ones specifically for the School of Communications at Michigan State. We also did a welcome event. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. We also did a welcome event where we were able to meet a bunch of new people that were interested, a little bit more one-on-one. We've had 2 guest speakers, Helen and Rachel, which thank you so much both for coming. And we did a dairy store ice cream, more casual event, an internship panel as students were starting to go into the winter break, thinking maybe for applying for internships, including some of the ones at the wonderful companies that you all work for and work with. And then we also did a final study event at the library. And right now we have 13 non-board dues paying members, which is pretty high, especially post-COVID. So a couple things coming. We're going to start our mentorship program for the year in January. We're still looking for mentors so that we can start the program as best as possible. We just have more mentees interested, students interested than mentors. So if you have any capacity for this, please reach out. And then PRSSA's National Annual Bateman Case Study. So this is something that we're doing with a new we have a e-board member this year completely dedicated to the Bateman case, and we're hoping to make some progress and get some portfolio work for our students that are interested in this. And then we're also trying to give dues paying members a more unique experience by going on firm tours, and we're setting up a couple in late January, early February. So if this is something that you believe that someone that could help, or you could help with this, again, reach out. My email's right at the top. So those are the 3 big things for next semester. That's everything I have. Happy New Year and happy holidays from MSU PRSSA. And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Caitlin. So, hi everyone, I'm Lisa Biering, currently the 2022 President-elect, and then of course the 2023 CMPRSA President. So I'm so happy to be here with you all today. I have a few remarks, but before I get into that, I want to introduce our 2023 leadership. So rounding out our executive committee, we have myself, Jen Anderson as President-elect, Helen Corneffel as Secretary, Ally Caldwell continuing her service as past president, Justin Rumenap, who was treasurer last year, he's going to continue on to that role, and Andrea Bitely is new to the board as our Inclusion, Diversity, Ethics, and Advocacy, or IDEA chair. And then for our directors at large, we have Nikki O'Meara, Hannah Lupi, Dustin Early, Sophie Gamble. We have 1 vacant position, Bree Moore, Kim Frederickson, and Shelley Davis Boyd for our directors at large. Our board of directors also makes up committee chairs, which we're in the process, and Ally's definitely going to help out a lot next year as her role of past president and nominating chair in placing those. But I wanted to say thank you to all these individuals, introduce them. Many of them are continuing on from roles that they've had in previous years. And so really looking forward to that carryover from previous years and that institutional knowledge. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing because that concludes the slides. But I do want to, excuse me. Sorry. Of course, you get a tickle in your throat at the worst time. So I wanted to begin by thanking all of you and for your trust in me and for electing me to this position. I'm honored to serve in the role. I consider it my privilege to lead this organization and our members. That being said, we are an organization that serves you, our members, and the public relations industry. Our mission at CMPRSA, which I believe mirrors the PRSA mission, unless that changes with the new strategic plan. I'm actually not aware of that, but it is to serve the profession and the professional. So given that, I'm going to continue to seek your support and your collaboration as we work towards fulfilling that mission in everything we do in this coming year. To those that I listed on the executive committee and the board, know that your counsel, your contributions this year are going to be crucial to the success. I want to note that CMPRSA is a working board, which means that the leaders listed, the names that I called out, have done something truly tremendous. They've given a commitment, beyond the requirements of their day jobs, beyond the requirements of their personal lives and all of our other extracurriculars. They've accepted these positions and they've agreed to, move forward this organization and the industry to serve the profession and the professional right to help our members advance their careers. And as I look ahead, I'm very comforted to know that I have such a strong support structure in place. To wrap up, I did want to touch briefly on two aspects of CMPRSA and then also the strategic plan and some events that we have coming up. But the first thing I wanted to touch on was how I came to be here and then talk about some personal goals I have for this year. For me, on my individual journey, I actually did not take a traditional path into PR. I did not study it in school. I started working for MSU Federal Credit Union in a customer service job. At the time, it was a job to pay the bills until I figured out what my next move was going to be. But my curiosity, my skills, my interests, and then also the special interests of a company mentor led me to the corporate communications department. And there I had the opportunity to grow in and learn the industry. I joined CMPRSA shortly thereafter and used the resources to my advantage. I used them a lot, especially when I was first starting out. I wanted to soak up everything. So I did not learn PR in school. I learned it from my peers. I learned it and I continue to learn it from Google. That's my favorite resource. Learned it from, the lunch and learns that CMPRSA has put it on. I've learned it from talking to all of you, to sharing ideas and asking questions and learning about what you do and what you've done when you're faced with, similar situations. Sorry, I got sidetracked by a notification. I hate when that happens, but I nurtured those relationships. I got more and more involved and I was able to advance my career that way. And so the accomplishments on my resume in many ways are indebted to those professionals who welcomed me and they guided me. And really that is what that mission means to me for the profession and the professional. I have benefited from that tremendously. So my journey, my experience lends into my goals as president for this year. As Ally mentioned, we did recently approve our strategic plan that'll go from 2023 to 2025. The strategic plan is robust, and Jen Anderson, the president-elect for 2023, and I have talked a lot about what that means for implementing it. It's a 3-year strategic plan. We're a working board, right? We have to be honest and transparent about the capacity that we have. We're not going to accomplish all of that in 1 year. So our first board meeting of 2023, the board will come together and select our primary objectives from that strategic plan. So we'll select the primary ones we want to focus on for 2023. And then together we'll take that ownership and create those tactics of how we're going to meet those objectives. More information to come to membership about the strategic plan, but I do want to choose those focus areas for 2023 first. And then we will send out that plan to all of members, post it on our website, and continue to give you updates throughout the year on our progress on that plan. One thing I will note is that we have four strategic pillars in that plan, which are leadership and administration. So the governance of CMPRSA, that's the board, that's the executive committee. Membership, so recruitment, retention, membership engagement, all of that. Programming is the third. So what programming are we offering at every stage of a professional's career? And then the fourth is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So like I said, more to come on that plan, and then updates throughout the year. So my internal goals as president, I don't want to detract from that focus. We have our strategic plan. That is our framework. That's that guiding force. But I do want to have some goals of my own as I look forward to this year that will support the endeavors in the plan. So based on those four main pillars and the objectives we've set forth, I have two big goals that I want to reach as president next year. One is to ensure that all board members are engaged, that all board members feel equipped and they feel supported to serve in their roles, and that they understand the mission and the strategy of the organization. They understand what we're working toward. And then 2 is to enhance our member offerings and connection points. So I want to give members those opportunities to keep giving them those opportunities to learn from, to teach one another, to advance their career. You know, again, that's serving the profession and the professional. Based on my journey into PR, it's not surprising, I think, why those are my 2 goals. And so I really want to continue to support that foundation of CMPRSA and continue to offer those opportunities for our members. So with that, our collective success is contingent on your involvement. I want to hear from all of you. I want to know your ideas, your opinions, your thoughts, what works, what doesn't. I will absolutely seek out that input, but please also know that I'm open to hearing it at any time. To aid in that, we do have 2 events in January and things that will continue on throughout the year, but I will highlight the January events for our members. The first one is a new opportunity to connect. I want to give credit where credit's due. This was an idea from Jen Anderson. I think it's a fabulous idea. I'm really excited to start it. But an opportunity to connect with one another called Monthly Hookups, your monthly hookup. So what that is each month we're going to invite all of our members to join us at Hooked Bookstore. It'll always be there every single month. And then come work with us, right? So many of us are either working remotely or we have hybrid options. So together we can just sit in this bookstore and work together, and we can use each other as resources. So if you have a question, if you want to hear about how so-and-so at this firm or this company, approaches this obstacle or this initiative, then we can talk about it there. We'll all be together. So like I said, that is going to be at Hooked Bookstore. The first one will be January 12th. I'm hosting it. I will be there, and you can grab a drink. You can get some pastries. They have a lot of different pastries, and then ask peers questions while we work. That's also open to the public. If bring a friend. If you know anyone that is a new professional, they're not a member, or somebody who's an experienced professional and they're not a member, because they exist too, right? Bring them along and they can learn more about CMPRSA. The second event for January is a New Year Mixer. That will be on Tuesday, January 24th. That is sponsored and hosted by local Lansing PR firm, Resch Strategies. They are in the NAP building in downtown Lansing. So thank you to Resch for hosting that and sponsoring it. We'll be in their office location. Again, all members and any prospective members, so bring your friends, bring your coworkers, are invited for an evening of networking, appetizers, some drinks. We will absolutely send out the information and promote this on social media very soon, so you have the details, but giving you a heads up now. And then with that, I want to just, close out and give one more round of appreciation. Thank you to the board of directors this year for 2022, to Ally for your service as president and your continued work helping us place members. It's always funny that you do your year as president and then you stay on, and I'm looking forward to, being able to ask your advice and having you right there to, see how you would approach situations. But again, and thank you to the committee chairs for everything that you've done this year. Often the committee chairs and the committees, right, are the frontline workers of CMPRSA. They're the ones that are like bringing the programming, bringing the content, the value of CMPRSA directly to our members. And then lastly, to all of you for this opportunity, I'm incredibly proud and excited to serve you next year. And with that, I think there's some things in the chat. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, yes. I was going to see if there's any questions, but if anybody has any questions, I don't know that, I'm not sure. I think we've hit everything in the agenda. I haven't looked back on the slides, but if there's any questions or comments, we can take those. And then if not, that wraps up our annual meeting for 2022. The mixer is going to be at Resch Strategies, and it's a PR firm there in the NAP building, which is downtown Lansing on Washington Square.
Yep, it's on Washington and
Yes.
Washington, I believe.
Okay. Oh, Jen, come in and
Jen put it in the
address. Yeah. Thank you, Jen.
And when's the first hookup?
January 12th. And I'll be there from 9 a.m. to noon. at Hooked Bookstore. Okay. Any closeout comments that you want to add, Ally?
Nope, just reiterating my appreciation and support for everything this past year. It just word of advice to Lisa, it goes by so fast. I'm sure if
Yeah.
Felicia were still on, she'd say the same thing. But thank you all for joining us, and happy holidays. We'll see you in 2023, and stay safe out there during the storm later this week.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.